So welcome everybody. I'm very excited to have a call today with Rhea Swift, and she'll be taking us through the process that she's brought to the world. And just to let you know, this afternoon is sponsored by the Extraordinary Healing Arts Academy and the Wellness Show. And so without further ado, I'm going to turn it over to Rhea Swift, and she's going to take it away. So thank you, Rhea.
Very welcome, Tyson. So should I just see the green phone on my screen and not your face anymore?
You can do anything
right?
you feel that you need to do.
I've never, there, you're back. Okay, I didn't know that there was anything to do.
No, I'll guide it for you. I will mute anybody that's, there's noise in the background. So I'm also
okay.
on chat. So if anybody wants to raise their hand through chat, that would be great. And if you're on the telephone, you'll need to, I'll open it up periodically and ask if you have a question, because there's no way you can communicate through the chat, okay? So I'm just going to mute myself at this point here, and Rhea, take it away.
Okay, thanks, Tyson. This work is partly mine and partly from a body of work called Immunics, which was given to people by Mir Baba. If anybody is, I don't know, 50 and over, you might remember him. He was one of the first Indian sages that came to the country. And he taught people that we have 12 non-physical bodies, and that those 12 non-physical bodies is where all our pathologies, physical and energetic pathologies sit. So we are energy first, and that energy then moves into the physical body. So the reason I wanted to share this work is I want people to get a sense of these 12 non-physical bodies and what they hold and how easy it is to clear yourself and the result that you get from the clearing. So a little bit about me. I had cancer 3 times, and the second and third time I didn't use medicine. I used energy medicines. And the way it happened for me was the second time I had cancer, I just yelled at God and I said, you heal me or kill me, just make it fast. And within about a week, stuff started to come. People just showed up. Flyers came in the mail, phone calls. I was taken places. So that was a long road. That started in 1985. And in about 2000, early 2000s, I was sick. January, I had a flu. I had really high fevers. Had it in January. I came again in February, and I had it again in March. And by the time the third time rolled around, I realized, oh, something's going on here. Somebody's trying to tell me something, because I never get sick like that. So when it happened the third time, I had remembered this website. You know, you just click and you look at different things. And I remembered this website called Immunics, Immunics.org. They changed the name to Way Immune, WAYIMMUNE. And you can learn this yourself, but there's at least 3,500 pages on the website. And you have to pay a monthly fee to learn it. So I got online and I looked up their flu protocol, and I did their protocol. In 20 minutes, my fever of at least 103 went down to probably 100, well, probably in the late 90s. And I got up, I showered, I had a meeting in Philadelphia. I live outside of Philly. And I got in my car and I went to Philadelphia. So I cleared it in 20 minutes. I cleared it from the 12 bodies. I don't know how well you can see this. It's just sort of a guide. Let me see some of it. But the 12 bodies are listed over here on this side. And this side are the pathologies. So what I did was I found where the flu was and the virus, and I removed it from each one of these bodies, and I did it every 5 minutes. And in 20 minutes, it was gone. I still had a fever, but I was still hot, but I wasn't sick. And within about an hour and a half, the fever was completely gone. So that really impressed me. And then I jumped on the website that summer. I don't think I was summer off. So I just spent my whole summer on this website and devoured it and realized that it wasn't organized. And then I realized through pecking, hunting and pecking, there was a practice in this website, which they didn't present as a practice. So I pulled out what I thought would be a good daily practice for people to add into their either existing, medical practice or healthcare, massage, whatever, and their spiritual practice. And it works. It's brilliant. So I want you to get as much of a taste as possible And then what I'll do is if you guys send me your email address and my email, there's a lot of noise, Tyson. Do you hear that? Looks like he just, there you are. So if you send me your email address, I will send you the copy of the pathologies and the 12 bodies so you can start practicing on your own. And if you're interested in it, I'm going to have a class in a couple of weeks, and I'll let everybody know about that class, and I'll do it online so that you can learn the whole course. I usually teach it in a 2-day format, but what I want to do now is I'll sell you the workbook, and you can start to go over it. And it's a fairly do-it-yourself thing, but some of it is tricky, and you'll get a lot out of having someone help you go through it as well. So that's the plan. All right. So as I said, some of this work is from Immunics. Some of it is from something called Into the Moment. And some of it is my stuff that just came to me. When I work with somebody, I also do private sessions and workshops. So when I work with somebody, I always clear the blocks to healing first, because we have many blocks to healing. And there's no point in healing somebody if you don't remove their blocks, because, that doesn't make sense, right? So it's one reason people don't stay healed after removing certain things. It's another reason why you come back again and again and again and again to the same thing. Another big block to healing that I don't address with this work, but in other stuff that I do, is family constellation work, where you remove it from your ancestral line and then you heal. So you have to find out where it is. That's what I do. I want to know where exactly, specifically where this thing is sitting. I did general clearing for years and I got bored with it. It was like, oh my God, I don't want to keep doing these layers and layers and layers. Let's hone right in, find out where it is, what body, what field, what ancestor, what lifetime, what chakra, and then let's clear it. And it seems it works pretty well. So I can't do blocks to healing now because, it would take too long to do it for each person, but that's the first thing I do. So if you guys, I know you use pendulums, but if either pendulum or muscle testing, first thing you want to do is find out what percentage of you is in your body. Because if we're not 100% in our body, it's really hard to heal ourselves. So that's the first thing I would take you through. And I do it through muscle testing. And most people are about 76% in their body. That's the average. And you want to be 100% in. That's the goal. So the more present you are in your body, the more present you are in life, and the more strongly, is that a way to say that? You show up in life in general in a very powerful way. So some of what makes us feel crazy and not function well or feel disempowered is because we're not in our body. It's a big, big deal. So I'll just take you through a little mini visualization right now, and you'll get a sense of what it's like to be fully in your body. So if you would all just close your eyes and just let yourself settle, relax into your body. Take a few full breaths, not necessarily deep, but just fill your body up with air. And then just do a gentle exhale. And do that again. That's my dog is barking. I can't stop that, so bear with her. Now you can take your right hand, or your left, doesn't matter, put it over your belly, below your belly button. Keep your eyes closed. Put your hand over your belly. And feel your consciousness that's in that part of your body. So focus in on the awareness you're having of being inside your belly. Good. I can feel some shifting. Now take that awareness and move it down into your legs, your knees, your calves, your feet, and feel your feet on the ground or your rug, your floor, wherever. And then bring yourself back up and feel your presence. Feel that presence up through the rest of your body, up to your head and out your arms. Good. There's lots of good shifting. And if you tune into the group, there's about 20 of us, I think. If you tune into the group, you'll feel the presence of the group empowering you to be more present. And that's where we're going on a collective conscious level to be more present collectively, so that we pull from everybody, not just ourselves. So now that you're in your body, just feel that again, belly down to your feet, all the way up to your head, your arms. Bring all of you back inside yourself. And just be aware of how that feels for you. Now notice, how does it feel to be fully in your body and in the room that you're in? And now notice, how does it feel to be fully in your body and with other people? So just bring other people into your awareness. And notice the shift. So that's a little exercise you can do. You can take it further. How do I feel in my body when I'm at work? How do I feel in my body when I'm at the grocery store? How do I feel in my body when I'm in a group of people, at a party, at a family function, whatever? And just keep coming back to that. The more you do it, the more you're going to build steam. You're going to bring yourself back in. So there, I can feel a presence larger than the presence I felt before. And you probably can too, because we are all connected. That's the beauty of Immunics. Immunics really gets to that place that we're all connected. So my 12 bodies, which are nonlinear, are connected to your 12 bodies because they're not in our time and space. They just are. So if I heal me on the call, if you have what I have, it's going to clear for you as well. So when I teach a group of 20, 30 people and I work with one person, everybody in the room feels better, even though we didn't affect them. But if my field changes, your field is going to be affected by that. So the first thing, I'm going to go through this quickly because I want you to get a sense of it and I want you to see the depth of it. So just sit back, relax, and absorb and notice the changes as we go through. So after I've removed the blocks to healing and you're more in your body, we did a private session, we would clear what is preventing you from being in your body to 100%. And I can do that in a variety of ways. So the next thing I do is I want to correct several parts of your awareness so that it's on, so that it's functioning, like your intuition. So I'm just going to go breeze through these. We're going to correct your intuition at 100%. Now we're going to correct emptiness at 100%. So what I mean by correcting is I'm turning on a switch that says, yes, I can be empty. I can be calm, quiet, clear. Yes, all my intuition is on. Now we're going to correct being awake at 100%. Notice that I just really woke up, just like I had a rest. Now we're going to correct being patient to 100%. We're going to correct being unafraid to make mistakes to 100%. We're going to correct able to learn from my mistakes to 100%. We're going to correct not being easily discouraged to 100%. These are really good in a group. Whenever I teach a workshop, I do this first because it gets everybody relaxed in their bodies, focusing just on feeling them and not everybody else. We're going to correct persistence and determination to 100%. And not being easily discouraged to 100%. That was a big one. I don't know if you guys could feel that, but that was a big one. We're going to correct willing to help another to 100%. We're correcting unafraid to ask questions to 100%. We're correcting working and studying well with others to 100%. We're correcting working and studying well alone to 100%. We're correcting being inclined and able to correct oneself to 100%. Wow, that was a big one. We're correcting the ability to learn and use new information to 100%. We're correcting the ability to act out of new realizations to 100%. We're correcting having fun while working and studying to 100%. And we're correcting, I'm the best me I can possibly be to 100%. I want everybody to say, in your mind, just say, I am me and only me. We're always picking up other people's information. And all that stuff sits on these 12 bodies. So, like if I'm teaching a workshop and I have somebody test for Mary sitting next to them, they are often testing for Joe who's on the other side of them, and they don't know it. You don't know where your awareness and their awareness is focused. People are we're kind of enmeshed as a society, which is not great. There's a better way for us to do it, and I think that's what our new evolution is all about, is how to be one without being enmeshed and codependent. And so we're independent as we're interdependent. For all lives and all lifetimes, I am holding 0 issues of others. That's for everybody on the call. And for all lives and all lifetimes, others are holding 0 issues of mine. Now, this is a general thing. If we find that you keep popping up with any of these, we're going to do more work to clear that, so it's not always an issue for you. But this book is set up as for a daily practice. So if you go through this book daily, you're just going to get clearer and clearer and clearer, because we pick stuff up in our apartment all by ourselves. Because we're a flow, right? We're a flow energy. We flow from one phase to another, one field to another. It's constantly moving. Okay. So I have a different take on assemblage points. I've worked with assemblage points for years using a crystal to correct it. And a couple of years ago, one day it dawned on me, oh my God, this person is holding their parents' assemblage point. So we entrain to the way our parents use their assemblage point. So we started giving the parents or the spouses or the kids back their assemblage points, and people's assemblage points didn't need to be corrected anymore. They just went right into the center where it should be. So just tune in and ask yourself, whose assemblage point am I carrying? And whatever you hear, just say, Mom, Dad, whoever, I'm giving your assemblage point back to you. And I would ask it at least 2 times. It depends on how many people you live with or grew up with. But usually we carry our parents. And there's often a predominant one that we carry. So I'm going to go through this general removal and clearing, and then we're going to get more specific. But if you send me your email addresses, I'll send you the copy of this and one of the prayers. They have wonderful prayers. They're action-based prayers. We'll do those at the end. So just follow along again and absorb and see how you shift. This just will make you more peaceful, more calm, and light, because what it's doing consistently is removing the thoughts, the pathologies from other people. So back up a little, pathologies. A virus thinks, everything thinks, right? Everything has a frequency, and information, thought, is transferred through frequencies on wavelengths. So we want to clear anybody else's frequencies that we're carrying. Those pathologies, like a virus, I can go to the grocery store and walk out feeling angry. I picked up a virus. Viruses make us angry. I may not get sick. If I'm healthy, I probably won't get sick. But if I'm in a weird place, or I'm really angry, or I'm off, that might eventually move into my physical body. So I want to catch it before it moves into my physical body by removing all this stuff from my non-physical bodies. My mom died from lung cancer. After she died, I was using this, and I had to check, do I have the precursor to lung cancer, which meant the ability to have lung cancer, and I did. So I removed it. That's gone. I don't have to worry about that. You can remove arthritis, diabetes, cancer, AIDS, just about anything. You have to do it consistently. It's like a prescription. So here's the general removal. The more you remove, the better you're going to feel, the lighter you are, the quieter you are, the more information you're going to pick up. Your intuition will heighten, as will your ability to be more awake and present. Because being awake just means we move out of the mind field of the human mind. We can sit in the God mind, in the collective unity, oneness consciousness. That's what it is to be awake. And then you move into love, and you are just love. That's all you are. And when you're just love, you know what to do. You're not needy anymore. You're filled. You're filled with love. And not human love. Human love is a little bit can be needy. This gets rid of the neediness. So general removal. I am free of all interferences. So just let that move through you and see how you feel. I'm removing all pathologies from my 12 bodies. So interferences were more prominent in this group than the 12 bodies, than having something on the 12 bodies. All my bodies are free of all pathologies. I'm putting up all my immunological shields. So once you remove the 12 bodies, you learn how to shield yourself from, not against, because against is adversarial, but from the stuff that you've been picking up, like virus, bacteria, rot, retention. I'll go through it, you'll see. Another thing I forgot to mention is all negative presences, all entities, ghosts, just anything negative that I'm aware of that one can pick up. Spirit attachments, soul pieces that are not yours. We can also bring back all those pieces. So privately, I would do much more, but this is, you would also learn how to do that in the workshop, to remove curses, cords, entities, psychic attacks, cords, all that stuff. So here's the rest of the general removal. I am activating and installing all my God connectors. Mir Baba identified 13 energetic strings, if you will, like, electrical cords that connect us to the God presence. And if you have 6 or more of these connected, you just move more quickly. If you're not connected at all, it's a little bit harder to go forward. And it's true. They stand for different things. When I get to that page, I'll tell you what they are. I'm removing all malfunctions from all my 144 chakras. I'm removing all malfunctions from all my meridians. These are the external meridians. They connect the 12 bodies. So I'm removing all malfunctions from all my meridians. I'm activating all my 144 chakras. So I want them all to be turned on. They all have different functions, like from 65 to 67 has something to do with money, the ability to attract money. So when it's on, that's easier if you don't have other blocks. I'm on the right side of my highest possible dimension. There's 144 dimensions. So I'm just looking at the negative interferences. I want to see if there's any that the group has. So we all have most people on this group have a genetic code dysfunction. So I'm going to correct the genetic code dysfunction. I don't need to know what it is. I'm just making the statement that it's happening. And I know that it's corrected by testing tomorrow and seeing if I need it again. Which I find is the beauty of this work, is that you pull out the index after you know the body of work, and then you just go through it. What page do I need to work with? You don't have to guess. You don't have to do layer, all, just this huge group of stuff. You can get really specific. And it takes me 5 to 10 minutes to do this. It took me 2 hours when I started because I was obsessed. Hopefully you will not be obsessed. You will do it in a more relaxed manner. Let's see if anybody else, there's a group thing we can clear. No, there isn't a group, nothing yet. Let's see. Cordings. So we can't really remove cordings. Cordings, the way I remove cordings is a cord goes from my body to your body, to whoever I'm corded to. So what I do is I go to where say the cord is my heart chakra to your heart chakra, or your 5th chakra, it doesn't matter where. I put my attention into the cord and I feel the feelings that are in the attachment. And as I feel those feelings, they disappear, because when you really feel feelings, they disappear, they dissolve. So and then I'll go a little bit further and I'll feel it for the next couple inches, feel what's in there, and that will dissolve. Then I go further and feel that will dissolve, all the way up to where it's attached to you. And then I feel the attachment to you. Then you've removed the cord. Cords don't usually come back, not this type of cord. I have found, unless you've got some weird relationship going on. heart-to-heart can be a very good thing. And if it's positive, you leave it alone. Like mothers and children have a heart-to-heart cord, and that's kind of like having the umbilical cord there. But you want it to be positive. So we will remove interferences, which are vows, agreements, promises, contracts, disagreements or agreements with the church or religion, family agreements, ancestral helplessnesses, interference with God, interferences with miracles, living right, not living right, to do or not to do the soul's purpose. Along with that, I can just listen with the Immunics, because you tune into the heart, what they call the harmonic or the God mind. And I can ask, is there any interference for everybody on the group? And I get a yes. So what's the interference for everybody? Self-doubt. So let's remove self-doubt for everybody in the group. And the pleasure to be with one another. People don't realize that we're a pleasure to each other because our stuff gets triggered. And then it's not pleasurable anymore. But if we know that we're really here to be pleasurable, to be accents for each other, it changes the dynamic. So I choose you. You know, we have to choose each other instead of resisting each other. If I choose you, I let everybody into my field, and then it doesn't stay. Then it can go through me. There's no more resistance. We then become one. So just try that. Say, I choose in your mind, I choose everybody on this call, and notice how you feel afterwards. You'll find the love that you have for people that you're not aware of. Like, it makes me want to cry when I choose everybody. And now you feel like my brothers and sisters. Instead of my stuff leading the way, I would rather this lead the way. So those are interferences. We can have interferences with higher consciousnesses, soul groups, angels, spirit guides, just about anything that goes up to the God mind, all the way up. So blocks to healings, I won't go through them, but just a word about them. They're things like, I don't deserve to heal, it's not safe to heal, I don't want to heal, it's not possible for me to heal, etc., etc. Another big piece of the not being in your physical body is not feeling safe. And lots of people don't feel safe in their bodies, which makes life hard. You know, you're going in two directions all the time. I want to go forward, but I don't feel safe, so that part of me doesn't want to be there where I am. There's this constant back and forth tug. And not deserving, a list of not deserving. And we often don't want to attain full embodiment. You know, we say we want to wake up and be enlightened, but that means that the small self has to die. And that's how you wake up. You go away and you become part of the whole, which is a lot bigger than you are. And it's awesome. It's awesome. But the ego is afraid of that. So with the ego being afraid of that, we put up all kinds of objections. Someone could hand you a $10,000 check, but if you have some program that says it's not safe to be here on any level, you're going to say, nah, I don't really want it. Even though you really want it. You know, you're getting a gift, but you can't accept it. So we also look at geopathic stresses, which are diseases of the earth. So different lines, you guys have probably heard of Hartman lines, Banker lines, Curry lines, ley lines from roads, pathways, trails, churches, underground streams, et cetera, et cetera. Earthquake, underground caves, negative vortexes, geomagnetic disturbances, solar geomagnetic disturbances, et cetera. And I teach you how to clear those. I don't teach it in the workbook because it's a little bit tricky. You know, they're so different. I healed a house 6 times I was over there. And finally, the angelic realm came in. It was the first house of the town. So it's 200 years old. The man that owned the home had a brother who lived next door. The brother had a mental problem because he was working in a tannery factory and became poisoned by the chemicals in the factory, and he kind of lost his mind and became a pedophile. Not just a pedophile, he was an everybody-phile. He would sneak in and out of people's rooms, and no one said a thing because they started the town. They were the Hellers from Hellertown in Pennsylvania. So I won't tell you the whole story, it was pretty gruesome, but we couldn't get rid of this man. And yesterday, the angelic realm came in, wrapped around the house. It was beautiful. And finally took him away. And I said, why did it take you so long? And they said, well, because we wanted to see if you could do it. So that was interesting. If you want, I have it taped if anybody wants to hear it. It's a very interesting case. So here are the pathologies. I'm just going to go through them in a general way, and you guys just notice how you shift. So I'm going to remove, I'll just take an intuitive guess on what we have the most of collectively. So we all probably have bacteria. Most of us carry bacteria. Bacteria make you feel bad about yourself. So you can feel bad about yourself and think, oh my God, I feel bad about myself. When it isn't you, it's a bacteria. Because they all have thoughts. So here's a list of the pathologies that you're going to clear. Bacteria, fungus, opportunistic infection, which uses you. It's an infection that uses you. I have found out through the years, I've been doing this work about 30 years, so I found out through the years that there is a consciousness to everything, and if you work with the consciousness of the thing, you can heal it. I healed my own Lyme disease that way. And I had it just like everybody has it. It was awful, painful. I felt like an old lady. It was terrible. And one day I said, what am I doing this medicine for? This is dumb. I'm going to do my thing. So I did my thing. I drew it. Part of the work I do is expressive art stuff. With energy work, I combine them, and the constellation work, I put them all together. And I drew the thing, and I stood up, and I let it move through me so that I could embody it. And it said to me, I don't want to be here. And I said, that's cool. I don't want you to be here. And it said, well, you keep fighting me. And I said, I don't know. Your Lyme disease. I thought I was supposed to fight you, get rid of you. I said, no, don't fight us. Everything wants to evolve spiritually. I thought, wow, Lyme disease is telling me that it wants to evolve spiritually. That's cool. I said, okay, what do you want me to do? And it said, I just want to move through you. Just let me go. And I said, okay. So the fever raged through the center of my body, like hot, sweating hot. And then it moved out of my arms, past my skin, and it was gone. It came back for like 5 minutes about 6 months later. And the woman I was with said, I think it's just your mind is still attached. Went away, never came back. So we can heal all that stuff. But we don't think we can. We're too medically programmed. It's part of our program. It's part of our collective. You drive down the highway, diabetes, okay, it's on the freaking billboards, it's everywhere. Okay, so the bacteria, fungus, opportunistic infection, parasite, rot, virus, organ problem, retention, which is just something you retain. Rot is just yuck that people pass from one to another. It's non-specific. Scarring, which is usually scarring from a past life. Substance excess deficiency, which is, it's indicative of the person who goes home at night and says, oh, I'm alone and I'm lonely and I really want to feel, safe and warm, so they eat chocolate cake because it makes them feel good for about 10 minutes. Comfort food. So that's a substance excess deficiency. They're substituting something for something else. Trauma, usually past life, could be this life. Conditions, which is where addictions hide under conditions. Deformity, this is kind of etheric stuff, so it can be any kind of deformity. Negative beingness is someone else's being negative. And we carry a lot of that. And we pass that around, you go to the grocery store and he's yelling at her and she's, just stuff that people go through. It's their negative beingness. And particle attribute imbalance. And the particle attribute imbalance is the first time you're here, you're a particle, proton, neutron, electron, right? That's what this system believes. One of our first incarnations is as that, and then we can be wind or water or tree, whatever. We kind of build from there. So the particle attribute imbalance means that first particle of you is imbalanced. Its rotation is off, so to speak. So you just correct it, find out where it's off on which body. So I'm going to remove, I'll just do the basic one. So bacteria is pretty basic. So I'm going to remove bacteria from everybody's celestial body. Just notice how you feel. I just woke up again. I wish I could talk to everybody, but we can't do that. In the class, we will. I'm going to remove bacteria from the gravitational bodies. I'm removing bacteria from everybody's spiral body. Does anybody notice feeling a little happier? That's what I'm noticing. The spiral body stays on Earth during your reincarnations. And when you come back, it holds the information from the lifetimes before that you haven't cleared so that you can clear them. It's the memory bank, kind of. So we're going to clear bacteria from the etheric body. There, see if you don't wake up again. The etheric body is the emanation in this system of all the chakras. So it's the auric, what we call the auric field is in one of their bodies. It's in the etheric body. The etheric body is also the closest to the physical. We're going to remove bacteria from everybody's astral body and from everyone's karmic body and from everyone's mental body and emotional body and physical body and the universal mental body. And the universal emotional body, and the universal physical body. I'm probably going too fast, but I want to make sure you get a sense of this. It's going to happen for you anyway, but when you do it yourself, you're probably going to wait a little bit more to see what's what. So then we go to shielding yourself, and it's called recoding your DNA. So this is where you epigenetically change your DNA. So, sorry. I live at a four-way stop and the windows are open. So that was a motorcycle. The lovely, loud motorcycles. Okay, so after you remove the pathologies, then you're going to shield yourself from those pathologies. So you shield yourself from them, right? So you're just kind of like the Jedi. Not against, because then you're developing a fight. So we'll do this first. And you don't have to know how to do it. You're just going to close your eyes and find your etheric body just through your intention. And the etheric body has rips in it, probably because it's the auric field. It represents the auric field. You want to seal, put little like shields up around all the rips you find in your etheric body. I put bubble gum in my mind. I just stuck bubble gum on either side of the rip. So do whatever comes to you. It's 360 degrees around you. So I'll be quiet. You can tune in and just seal every single rip you see. So I see eyes open. So some people might be done, some people might not be done, but you can finish it later if you don't feel like you're done. I'm just going to, you do that the first time, you never have to do it again. And then from there, you learn how to put the shields up. So here's how we put the shields up. You can make a general statement because you won't have this sheet tomorrow when you wake up. You can say, I'm putting up all my immunological shields. And because you've sealed the etheric field, it's going to stay for you. So the first one is, I'm shielding myself from questionable beingness and dimensional usage. And I'm shielding myself from attachment to major allies who are negative or questionable beings. I'm shielding myself from all demonic and alien influences. So I can feel that that's going on for some people. It makes me very sad. If you find that you think, oh, that's me, I have that, all you have to do is love it. Get a sense of, yes, I have a demonic attack or an alien influence, and I'm especially demonic attack. You can usually just say, okay, I'm removing all alien influences, and they're gone. They're nondescript. They just go wherever. If they're not a bad thing, and we don't usually get that stuff, most of us. But the demonic stuff, demon just means an energy of God without God. Something of God that is no longer holding light. That's the original meaning of the word demon. So that could be anything that just doesn't hold light anymore. And the way to remove it is just fill it with love, because it's the vibration of love is too much for it. And it will either go into the light or just go back to wherever it came from. But usually they go into the light, they dissolve, because they can't hold themselves in that vibration. So moving on, I'm going to shield everybody from hypnotic trances. That shifted things for the group. Hypnotic trances I taught a class in South Carolina to a group of women once, and probably the smartest woman in the group, she had an MBA in finance, really sharp girl, gets in the front of the room, it's her turn to be the guinea pig, and she can't think. She can't remember 2 sentences. So we tested why, what's going on here? Well, what was going on was her hypnotic trance was, if you're a Southern girl, you don't let everybody know how smart you are. You're just supposed to be pretty and kind, not intelligent. And we cleared it. We cleared it like every 5 minutes. That's a hypnotic trance. Something that you're not even aware of, but something happens and you just go, something happens and you go into this stream of consciousness that doesn't really work anymore. And it's probably so normal for you that you're not even aware of it. We're going to shield ourselves from lover attachment. And we're going to shield ourselves from opponents, not just demons, interfering with us. That's the sort of thing where I had a client that I probably should not have seen. I didn't really get it until he got here, that he was not open. He just wasn't the right client for me. I wasn't the right practitioner for him. But I knew him, and we went through it, and it was awful. It was a horrible hour and a half. And he left, and he was very upset with the things that I said to him, not about him per se, but about spirituality, like my take, which is kind of why he came to me. And he spent X amount of time just his negativity eventually affected me. He was so bent out of shape about it that it was affecting me. So that's the kind of thing where opponents can interfere with you. So we're going to shield ourselves from other people's negatives and other people's fears. We're going to shield ourselves from electromagnetic frequencies that are harmful. And we're shielding ourselves from people with high adhesion indexes. Everybody knows what that's like. You meet somebody who you're not even there. They just talk, and it's hard to get away from them, and you feel like you're being drained. It's that kind of thing. We're going to shield ourselves from viral and bacterial infections and from all yeast attacks. From all extraterrestrial interferences of all kinds. From other people's hesitations about moving forward. There's a couple more, but we'll let that go. So the next thing is we want to remove destructive shields. Destructive shields are, for instance, if you grew up with a mom who was controlling, constantly told you what to do, you don't want to be told what to do ever. That's a destructive shield. Or against criticism or judgment or having to learn or being by yourself. You're stuck. So you want to remove the destructive shield against that thing happening so that there's no resistance anymore. It doesn't phase you. So let's see if there's a general one for everybody here. So others' disapproval. So we're going to remove the destructive shield against other people disapproving of us. Because what happens with the shield is that someone disapproves, even if they're not disapproving you, but they look like the person who disapproved of you, you go, oh, I'm not dealing with this. But really, nothing's happening. So we're going to remove the destructive shields against criticism and negative input, against lightness and light. You can have a destructive shield against that because something happened in a past life where you became very light, you did really good work, and maybe you died for it, or you starved for it, or whatever. A destructive shield against putting people down. So anything that you cannot tolerate is a destructive shield. Not that we say, oh yeah, I'm glad you're putting that person down, but you want to be neutral about it, because if you're neutral, then you have right action. Right? The action that you take will be the right action. Someone might need help. Someone might need hey, stop it. You never know. But if we really don't want to be, that doesn't work on this planet. You have to know when to be what. In love, though. Because love is forceful. Love is God is love. We have tornadoes and hurricanes and earthquakes, all kinds of stuff. That's part of the creation. So you have to know when to be able to use that for good. It's not up to us usually. I think it's more something that God impulses us to do. So if nothing is working, whatever you're doing, this just happens to be in the middle of the book, should probably be at the end of the book, but if nothing's working, there's something called the difficult case list. And a difficult case could be something like having vows that are in the way of clearing, or lessons or contracts. The client wasn't paying attention. The client wants power or misuse of power. Client wants avoidance, wants revenge, permission from the higher sources to make corrections, permission from the client. There's a list of things. Client is resistant to healing. Client is out of their body. They're not grounded. Other dimensional beings are causing a problem. They're psychically experiencing an animal's problem. You could be carrying somebody else's organs. I carried my mom's lungs for a really long time. It's just the energy of her lungs. So I'm holding that information for her, and it's affecting my breathing. So there's a list of those. There's about 55 of those. Then there's a thorough explanation of the pathologies, what they're all about. And then we move into immune dysfunctions. There's several pages of immune dysfunctions. This was mostly channeled, this list, because after Meher Baba died is when his students made this a technology, because he taught them to do this through meditation. And they figured out, hey, we can make a technology to do that. So that's where all this came from. So some of the immune dysfunctions make you sick. They constantly wear on our immune system. They make us tired. They drag us down. We don't think well enough. We don't act well enough. We don't act in our own best interest. One of the really interesting immune dysfunctions I find is where we're being somebody else's immune system, antibiotic, conscience, convalescent. We're convalescing for them. Motivator, pathology, peacemaker, physician, prima donna, savior. We're doing that for somebody else instead of letting them do it for themselves. And that's partly our culture. We have that we have a codependent culture. We're supposed to give ourselves away and help everybody, but it's not true. It doesn't work. So there's a list of those things: conditioning, cowardice, deflecting, denial, dependence, charisma, blocking others' change, cancer is an immune dysfunction, destructive function with the church, entropies, excessiveness, freezing up, masochism, mimicking, mirroring, etc., etc. So you remove those, you come up with a prescription for yourself. Oh, I have these 5, and I'm going to remove them every day until they're gone. And then you check again. Oh, I have those 3. Okay, I'll remove them every day until they're gone. And after a while, you start to see what are the things that you pick up all the time. What pathologies do you pick up all the time? In the beginning, you're going to have 5, 6, 7. It's different for everybody. But after you do it for a while, I always pick up bacteria. Isn't that interesting? Why do I always pick up bacteria? But at least you know it. And you can go further and remove the reason that you're doing that. Might be past life stuff. It might be a higher dimensional thing. I don't know where it's coming from. But this way, you whittle this much information down to this much so that you've cleared all this consistently. It's not coming back. But you end up seeing, boy, I always have these 3 things. So you just, every day you clear them. And one day you don't have them. And you're still going to pick up from now and again. I still get stuff here and there, but I know it. Grocery store is the worst for me. The grocery store, overwhelmed by all that stuff. And part of me, I think I just leave my body in the grocery store and I walk out going, I didn't go in like that. So I know I picked something up. And I can just say, whatever I picked up from whoever it was, I'm giving it back to you. Or I'm removing all pathologies. The key is to keep your shields up. If you keep your shields up, you don't pick stuff up. So once you remove the immune dysfunctions, you then install immune functions. So these are functions that we need that get knocked out of us at some point. So there's different categories. There's basic, foundational, contact with reality, bridge between contact with reality and contact with yourself, and then contact with yourself as spirit. So basic one would be acupuncture, biological age maintenance, chiropractic adjustment, communication, empowerment, gratitude, inquisitiveness, preparation, resource gathering, relationships, money, fun, response, patterning, or will. Foundational, clarity, coexistence, cognition, directing, there's a list of them. Pattern, interrupt, persuasion, removal, responsibility, selfishness. You would install them. Structure, creation, contact with reality, action, aggression, balance, focus, interest, pre-adaptation, reference point creation, and bridge between contact with reality and contact with yourself, acknowledgement, adaptation. So they figured out at what point does what function do we need to make this happen. And that's how they came up with this stuff. Contact with yourself as spirit. One of them is bonding. Choice, consciousness, creation of victory, focusing others. Let me say, I don't think by any means that this is conclusive work, but I've never met a body of work that was. So what I've done for years is just, that thing works, I grab it, I like it, it works for other people, it works for me, I keep it. If it stops working, I don't use it anymore. But then I might study something else and find, that I like that much of that, but I don't like that much of it. So I only use that much of it. Then we move on to your organs, cleaning your organs. So your organs can be your adversary or your ally. Isn't that interesting? Your organs can be your adversary. I have a friend who's a couple years older than I am, and she's probably close to being white-haired, right? I think she was like a dirty blonde at one point. And for some reason, she just cleared the organs every day for months. And her hair started getting darker. Interesting. So the adrenal glands, they found that each organ or gland carries very specific things. Not that they don't carry other things. I don't find that to be true. I had breast cancer twice. So breast cancer for me was about not doing what nurtured myself. But for you, it might be something different. I wouldn't be surprised if it relates to nurturing, but Louise Hay, I thought it had to do with mother. I don't think that's true. And I also think that in terms of how all this fits together, you can have survival issues in the root chakra or in the kidneys, or the uterus, because it's in that part of your body, but you can also have them in the 5th chakra, because it's where it comes out of you. So I don't think it's that formulaic. I think you really have to develop your intuition to the point where you can sense what's going on wherever. So the adrenals, for instance, can be paranoid, muddled thinking, emotional instability, up and down, can't figure it out, unstable, or muddled. So I'm going to jump to the heart because everybody has a heart. Well, everybody has all these things, but, heart is something we all relate to. So the heart, we're just going to remove inappropriate or abnormal laughter from everybody's heart. And if you have it, it'll go. And if you don't, it's a non sequitur. It's okay. So we're going to remove lack of emotion from the heart. And we're going to remove rapid mannerisms, from the heart. We're going to remove rapid mannerisms from the speech. Wow, somebody had that. So frightfully overjoyed, we're going to remove that from the heart. Let's see if there's something we can do as a group. The spleen, interesting. So the spleen and the pancreas carry the same things. So the spleen, we're going to remove live through others from the spleen. We're going to remove over concern from the spleen. And over sympathetic. That's it. Over sympathetic. Ooh, we're going to remove hopeless from the spleen. And lack of control over events. And low self-esteem. Wow. Just notice how you feel. Now onto the God connectors. Guys, give me a second. I'm sitting in a dark room. I'll put some light on. So now we're doing the God connectors. So the God connectors, I'm just going to insert them for everybody, so this will feel really nice to you. So the statement is, I'm now installing and activating each one of these in succession, but one at a time. So I'm installing and activating everybody's first God connector, which is manifesting, imagination, and intention. Wow. Wow. That made me happy. How do you guys feel? Better, right? Yeah, it's awesome work. And it's so easy. It's in a book. It's in a book. I love it. I like easy technology. All right. I'm now installing and activating connection to and respect for the universe, humanity, and all living creatures, and intuition. Very calming. I'm now installing and activating the faith God connector. I'm now installing and activating the responsibility God connector. I'm now installing and activating forgiveness, understanding, and completion God connector. Wow. I'm now installing and activating form, rhythm, and order. That just kind of brings everything together, right? Form, rhythm, and order. I'm now installing and activating gratitude. So those are part of being connected to God. Like in the God mind, there's no real gratitude. You don't really need it when you get to that level. How can I say this? We needed the gratitude to get there maybe, but once you're there, when you're in the God consciousness, it's just so full and rich. I don't know how to say it so that it makes sense. It just, somehow, some way, there's like a nectar of gratitude in that without saying, oh, I'm grateful. You know, you just there, you just kind of are. I guess it's like love, you just are that. We're going to install and activate the intention for God's truth, aligning with universe's positive powers, God connector. I'm installing and activating knowingness, renunciation, and healing, God connector. I'm installing and activating for everybody the love, God connector. There's a humility in that, in the love, God connector. I don't know if you guys could feel that. It's humble. I'm installing and activating strength and courage, God connector. I'm installing and activating surrender and non-attachment, God connector. I'm installing and activating survival, persistence, and determination God connector. And just drink that up and see how you feel. It's settling, right? It just settles you. Anybody feel that? Yeah. So the next thing, there's an EFT protocol in here for clearing some of the blocks to healing, or, you know, if you get stuck on something, you can use EFT. I don't think EFT works for everybody for everything, but it's a really good resource. We also clear universal beliefs. So let's see if we can get a universal belief from this group. I need a partner to be happy. That's a pretty big one. Most people feel that way, you know. So we're going to, let's see if, usually you would remove EFT. So we could just do we, which is you tap on your shoulders, like you hug yourself and you tap. So we're going to do it for the group. We're going to remove everybody's thinking that they need a partner to be happy. And I want to thank George, I'm going to say his name wrong, Deisman, for showing me the we. There. And there's more steps to that, but we want to keep things brief here. So the universal beliefs are universal beliefs. You know, stuff like there should be no war, people are judging me, I need to know what to do, I don't know what to do, I know what is best for others, something terrible is going to happen, I can make a mistake, people should not lie, people should respect me, people should listen to me, I'm not good enough, I'm a failure, so-and-so doesn't care about me, I know what is best for me. When you don't have beliefs running in you like that, when someone does something, you just go, oh, wow, huh. You don't feel bad about it. You don't take it personally. You just love them. You just have love. And you know, whatever happens next is what happens next. But you don't have to feel bad. You don't have to own it. We don't want to own it. You know, we've all done that probably a million times, thousands of lifetimes. Yuck. Time to move away from that stuff. So that's what the beliefs are about. And then we have a couple of sheets on entropy and inertia. Another thing I like about Immunics is their specificity. They get really specific about things, entropy and inertia, addictions, conditions, etc. So you can really clear massive amounts of information easily. And the beauty of it also for me, and I think for any intuitive person, is that the more of this you do, you tune in your antenna, it just gets wider. And it becomes easier and easier to pick up information. You know, because you're going to do it every day. You're going to run through this every day. So you know, we want to listen from the 8th dimension, which is right about here. And the 8th dimension is the pure mind of God. That's where we start to tap into the pure mind of God at the 8th dimension. And it's where we also hear God's voice. So when you tune in up here, you're going to you want to move beyond your intuition. Like our intuition is, my food's done. You know, you're cooking something, you're in the bedroom, and all of a sudden you go, oh my God, it's done, I gotta go quick, and it's done. You know, that's our intuition. But to get good intuition about healing and about other people, you want to get what's clear, not something coming from your own mind. So if you muscle test or have your pendulum, you can just ask, do I have any entropy? Right now I don't. Do I have any inertia? I do. Can I use you, Tyson? So does Tyson have any entropies right now? No. Does he have any inertias? Yes. How many? 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40. So he has 40. We all have hundreds. But we're going to just look at those 40. So how many do we need to name? Because they fall under, they're like a stack. So you have 1, and there's 10 underneath that one. And if you remove this one, the 10 will go. So how many nameable inertias does Tyson have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So he has 5. How many should we clear right now? 1, 2, 3, 4. So we'll clear 4. So what's the first one? You stay too late to work. right? Yeah. So we're going to remove the inertia of it actually slows him down. But he doesn't know that because it's probably who he is and what he does. So we're going to remove the, for Tyson, staying too late to work from all his fields. Is it in the chakras? Yes, first, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth chakra. So it's kind of how he sees the world and himself in it. So we're going to remove it from his sixth chakra. Is it in the 12 bodies? Yes. Celestial, gravitational, spiral, etheric, astral, karmic, mental, emotional, physical. It's in the physical body, so we're going to remove it from his physical body. And I can see it in his hips, his knees, and his ankles. So we're going to remove it from his hips, his knees, and his ankles. And right here, his shoulders, and one of the thoracic vertebrae. And up here, the cervical, and someplace in his brain. That's bringing something up in his stomach, but I'm not going to go there now. So there's also 45 fields, 44 around us that emanate out from the body this way, and the 45th is where we turn into just pure energy. So is it in the 44 fields? Yes, 10, 20, 30, 40, 1, 2, 3, 4. It's in the last one. So we're going to remove it from the 44th. Is it in the higher chakras? Yes. Is it in the dimensions? Yes. So that's a big deal for you, that's working late. So higher chakras, it is above the 10th, yes. In the 20s, 10 to 20, 20 to 30, 30 to 40, up to 50, 60, 70, 80, 81, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we're going to remove it from the 86th dimension. And I can hear in the 86th dimension, I see someone yelling at him to do his work. Looks like his mom telling him to do his work. So we're going to remove that. We only see this much of us, but we're we're huge energetically, right? We're huge. So does Tyson still have staying too late to work? No. Now, it doesn't mean, you check it tomorrow and see how see if it's there. So does Tyson have another inertia that we can remove? Yes. We want just the next one. Were you bullied as a kid? I don't want to get too personal. Were you bullied as a kid? You're muted.
Yeah, I was bullied as a kid. My technique was to sit on them until they said uncle.
So that bullying as a kid is an inertia for you. You're still carrying it. So is it in the 12 bodies? Yes. Celestial, gravitational, spiral, etheric, astral, karmic. So let's remove it from the karmic body. Is it in the other bodies? Yes. Mental, emotional, physical, astral, karmic, mental, emotional, physical, universal, mental, universal. It's in the universal physical body, so we'll remove it from there. It's just stored information, right? Is it in the chakras? Yes. First, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth again. You're very heady, right? You're very mental. So a lot of your stuff is here, probably. So we're going to remove it from the sixth chakra.
Very academic.
Yep. So I'm going to cheat here and say that I tested to see what percentage of you is in your body. 10, 20, 30, 40, 1, 2, 3, 4. 44% of you is in your body. So that's a really good practice for you to get more of you in your body. You will not be so heady. So that gives you an idea of how that works. Something like that, I would move into the other body of work. I would do a constellation because that's just, I can hear it in my head. He needs a constellation around that so that it's gone. And any effects it had on him are gone. Just gone. So that's how you work entropies and inertias.
So
Thank you, Tyson.
Constellation has to do with the parental background, right, and the family of origin.
It's the ancestral, our bloodlines.
Yeah, bloodlines.
Going back. Yeah.
Who needs that?
So, who needs that? Everybody. So the other things we look at are addictions, and you test them the same way. Agendas, anticipations, hypnotic trances, non-gratitude, specific things you are not grateful for, rationalizations for aberrant behaviors, tendency toward illness, willlessnesses, and that's as much as I've put in the book. And if you want to go further, just get on the website and go further. but this will teach you how to do it. So here is, I'm going to read a little, there's the continuous cleansing prayer, which is a way to cleanse yourself generally every day. The noosphere prayer and the gravitational prayer. So the gravitational prayer attracts things to you. You're always pulling things in, and for some reason it's not in this book. So I'm going to do the continuous cleansing prayer, which is how we kind of started. It's the general stuff. So we did the top like 6 or 7. Here's the next one down. I'm installing the reflex to give love and empowerment. I'm attracting warm, happy feelings in others. Merge your results body, which is the spiral body and whatever bodies you choose, really. Merge your results bodies with people you choose. Remove and install the right factors. So I can go visit my friend who knows nothing about Immunics, and I can merge my bodies with her, and I can say, we're going to remove all demons, or we're going to remove all negative beingness, or we're going to boost up the immune system, or whatever, antibodies, etc. I like this one a lot. I'm on the best side of my highest possible dimension. And it does just that to you. Whatever your highest dimension is that you're functioning from, that's where it's going to put you. So it won't take any time at all to be functioning from your 144th chakra. Dimension. The more of this you do, the higher you go. You just build your awareness. You start functioning from way out here. I'm protecting myself and my people from incipient catastrophes. I'm removing all disturbances from the emotional bodies of everyone in the world. I'm realizing the loving, world-shaping, and God-given intentions I've carried from life to life. I'm causing my career and those of the people I love to be what God intends. I'm attracting increased capacity in myself and my group to accept power infusions. My particle attributes are in balance and at full strength to succeed at God's work. All my bodies are in God. All my bodies are one rainbow. I am free. The noosphere prayer is my favorite because it's the consciousness of the planet. And I think sensitive, empathic people are really affected by this. I think everybody is, but if you're a blockhead, casting no dispersions on blockheads. But if you're not that sensitive, it doesn't affect them for some reason, or they're not aware of it affecting them. I'm not sure how that works for them. I think it does affect them. I just think they're not aware of it. So here's the noosphere prayer. I'm raising the noosphere to the 27th dimension. I'm removing all pathologies from the noosphere. That just calmed me down. Can you feel that? It just makes you a little calmer. Because all this stuff is like hitting us all the time. It's like constantly being touched or brushed by something. We don't know that. We're used to it. So the less of this disturbance you have, the quieter you are, the more grounded you are, the better you're just at peace. I think that's the major reason for us not being at peace, is that we're picking up all this. We're constantly being touched by different things. I'm adjusting the meridians of the noosphere to create a free and balanced energy flow. I'm adjusting the chakras of the noosphere to be at full function. That makes me cry. All the bodies of the noosphere are at full function. The noosphere is unswitched and headed in God's direction. Well, that's a good way to affect everybody. The noosphere is everybody. I'm removing terrorism from the gravitational and spiral bodies of the noosphere. I'm removing all impressions from the karmic body of the noosphere. I'm removing the tendency to use biological weapons from the gravitational and spiral bodies of the noosphere. So the gravitational bodies are what they're, pulling to them. And the spiral body is the information they're carrying from all lifetimes. I'm merging my higher bodies with others who understand what we're doing. It's easier to find your tribe that way. You attract them on a different level. I'm removing any predisposition in the noosphere toward disease. All the bodies of the noosphere are one rainbow. I am now asking the forgiveness of everyone I've ever harmed or will harm. This is, I don't always use this one. Will harm by making Immunics by not making Immunics available to them faster. When my finger opens, they've heard, received my request in their results bodies. So these guys used to go to the street corners in San Francisco, Detroit, Miami, Philadelphia, New York, and just teach this for free. They'd have a little table and then say, hey, come here, let me show you how to muscle test. You want to know how to get better? You want to know how to improve your immune system? And they would just hold classes. They did it for years. And when it opens again, they have forgiven me. Doing this helps them discover Immunics for themselves without me needing to be better in order to give it to them. So that's that. So does anyone have any, can people ask questions? Is there a way for them to?
Yeah, I'll just unmute everybody and they can ask questions. So if you could do it one at a time. So I know Renata has a question, so I'll just unmute her right now. Renata, you're on.
Mm-hmm. I have one question here. Lady, I can't remember your name, but you did this movement here with your, what did you were doing?
I'm muscle testing.
Oh, that's a muscle test?
That's how you muscle test,
One of the muscle tests?
Muscle test is, like when you use a pendulum to get a yes or a no answer.
Mm-hmm.
You get a yes or a no.
Okay, but this, I couldn't, there had to be some kind of muscle testing because I am very interested. I'm going to study. I just have to buy the information, materials that I need. And the other thing that I wanted to tell you, I have to tell you because when Leila was talking about her problems, and what came to me was a blockages. And I raised my hand, but I did not get into, and then you start talking about that. Whoa, that's what came to me about Leila, blockage.
Yeah, there was a nice.
Yeah,
that's what I had before you. Okay, wow, I have to say it. So
good call.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, good call. Do you want to say something, Leila? Can we unmute Leila?
Yeah, there she is.
Oh, she has to do it. Yeah.
Okay. While you were doing everything, I realized that I cannot do it with you because there's something in me that does not have permission to be healed or anything. I just need to be in a bad state all the time. So I need permission. So
well, I think you have. It's an ancestral thing. It's something from your ancestors. Yeah. So if you did a constellation, we could remove that.
Okay.
Give it back to them. So that's another. It's easy to do. So I'll give you an example. I had a woman whose father was born in Germany before World War II. He and his family came to America. And during World War II, he was like 17 or 18. So he was drafted. He went to World War II and he had to kill his fellow countrymen. And it destroyed him. So he came back. He carried the war. He carried the fear. He carried the men who died. He carried his buddies. He became bipolar, depressed, and suicidal. And all his children carried that.
Oh.
So we had 3 sessions together. I think it only took 1 to do that. We were working on other things because Janice, at 54, had never been happy, ever, not once in her life. She had been hospitalized for suicidal ideation a couple times. So were her daughters. So in the last session, it was our 3rd session, she finally told me this. She didn't tell me. It's like, oh my God, Janice. So we did a constellation where I become her father. I set up tiles of colored tiles on the floor. and I become the people, I become the war, I become the pain, whatever needs to show up. And it's very intuitive. You know, you work at the soul level in a constellation. And then I heard her father telling me how awful it was for him. And I turned around and she looked at me and she's crying. And I said, give it all back to your dad. She's happy.
Wow.
So, yeah.
And the other thing that I got that is, that if other people are suffering, I have this belief that I should be suffering. I guess it's all part of this family constellation thing.
Well, it sounds like you're carrying, what nationality are you?
Jewish.
You're Jewish. Was anybody in the Holocaust?
No, but they were in the pogroms in Russia.
Yes. Yep. I've worked on, I just got chills everywhere.
Yeah.
That's where it comes from. So if we did a constellation, we give all that back to them. They heal, even if they're dead. The souls heal and you heal. I worked with a Jewish woman who's, I can't remember, was it anger? Anyway, her family was in Germany during the war, right? And I think everybody died, like all her elders died there. And she and all her kids, I think they just said they were constantly sad. And in one constellation, we removed all of that sadness and gave it back to Germany, to the concentration camps. Boom. It was gone. Yeah. Constellations are so powerful. They clean up so much so quickly. And you change, you know.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah. We can do that over the phone if you're interested.
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you.
Okay, Edna has her hand up, so you know, unmute Edna. Just a minute here. There you are, Edna, you're on.
Thank you. If we are clearing something, let's say anger or whatever emotion is there any other way to get rid of that energy instead of sending it back? Because if we send it back, it will affect the person.
No, it doesn't work that way.
Okay.
This is my best description of it. If I give you my right arm, now you have 3 arms, which you can't really use, and I only have 1.
Mm-hmm.
So you're giving me back my arm. I can heal my own arm.
So,
does that make sense?
Yes, it does. But how is that person going, or that group of people get rid of that negativity?
You're not, they already have it. It's like bubble gum. You know, when you walk down the street and you stand on bubble gum and you pick your foot up, well, now the bubble gum's here on the tar and now it's on your foot and everywhere in between. So all you're doing is taking it off your foot and putting it back here. Now when it's all in one place, it can heal. And that's in a constellation, they get healed as well. I will see all the ancestors. I'll see like 50 people come in a room sometime and they're clapping. They're like, thank you for healing us. So you're doing the healing for them as well.
Even if it's returning their own negativity. Yeah. Okay, thank you.
And they already have the negativity. So it's not like they don't. You're carrying part of theirs. They have it and you have it. So, and that's what, on a constellation on a soul level, we make agreements, which I don't totally understand. Either we decide, I'll take that from you because I see your pain, or people take it because they want to heal it. Sometimes one person in a family who's the problem person is carrying all the pain of the family.
Okay.
That's awesome. And we give it back. When we give it back to the family, I often see them, like if I heal, like the Holocaust is a good example, I will see all the souls that were in the concentration camp turn white light and go back to heaven, if you will. They just go back to the light.
Okay. So in a word, they were missing something that were holding them.
Yes, exactly.
Okay, I got it. Thank you very much.
And
now I have another question. You ask for our emails. Where should we send them so we can get that material?
Yeah, it's my email address is...
Go ahead.
Sorry.
My email address is my name, Ria, R-I-A, Swift, like fast, SWIFT. This is for anybody on the call. Just send me your email address and I will send you the pathology so you can remove them and the bodies and one of the prayers. And then I'm developing a class. I haven't decided on how to do that yet, but I do want to give everybody on the call, I'll take a third off of what I usually charge for this class, just as a thank you for coming and hanging out. And so riaswift@gmail.com is the email address. And my website is riaswift.biz, B-I-Z. And my phone number is 484-767-4890. And I do private sessions over the phone with, anybody. So if you want to try that, contact
Thank
me.
you very much.
You're welcome, Edna. Go ahead, Renata. Do you have another question, Renata?
Phone numbers.
484 767
767
4890. And I'll only use your email address for this. I won't, don't have any other purpose for it. So I wonder if there's any callers. Are there any people on the phone that want to ask a question? Can we hear from them?
I can see the people. Some people I can see. So let's deal with them because I can see with their hand up. So
Okay.
if you are on your video, if you just put your hand up, I can unmute you if you have a question. So Narayana, I think that's how you say your name. All right. Well, do you have a question? Or Delaney? Is it Delaney Lowry? Do you have a question? Or Carla, do you have a question? Maria, do you have a question? If you do, put up your hand so I can see you. No, no questions there. Okay, moving along. Beth, do you have a question? I'll unmute you, Beth. Do you have a question? Beth, are you there? Do you have a question? Going once, going twice, going 3 times? All right. Mafalada, is that how you say your name? Do you have a question? Mafalada, do you have a question? Going once, going twice, 3 times. Sherry, do you have a question? S-H-A, do you have a question?
Shay, S-H-E?
Shay, do you have a question?
Yes. He's one of my buddies.
Hey, buddy Shay, Rhea wants to know if you have a question. Okay, going once, going twice, gone. Okay, moving on here. Okay, we're going to unmute 16474551149. I'm just unmuting you now. Do you have a question?
Yes, my name is Marcia.
Hi,
My question is, I was wondering, when you had your cancer, how long did it take for you to clear and the cancer using this method?
I didn't use this method to clear my cancer. I found this after the cancers were gone, but I can answer that for you. I used a frequency-based remedy from Peaceful Meadow Retreat, which is in Boulder, Colorado. So that's one place that does that work. And you just, everything has a frequency. So all you do is figure out what the frequency is, and then you put that in water. Well, you wouldn't do it, but the people would do it. And then you you put a dropper of it under your tongue.
Oh.
So it took a month. And then the third cancer I had was ovarian cancer. And the woman who owned Peaceful Meadow Retreat, Hannah Kroger, who is deceased now, but was a very famous healer, put her hands on me, and in 5 minutes it was gone.
Wow, that's amazing.
It was amazing.
I just wish that more people would know about this,
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I think medicine is the worst place to go if you have cancer. Absolutely. Because it's all about emotions, usually. the British Medical Journal just did some research on the lack of efficacy of drugs. So any drug is only 22% effective. And they found that people who released the emotions that were stored in their body healed much more quickly. And that's the work that I do. That's what I came to. You have to get rid of the emotions that are stored in your body, and then you don't get sick. Or you heal whatever is there. So
Thank you.
you're welcome. Carla has a question.
All right, Carla.
Hi. Sean is how you pronounce it.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, no, that's okay. Nobody knows. Neither does my family. So, no harm, no foul. So you're, Tyson, can you mute the phone caller?
Yeah, I'm trying to find how to do that. So wherever she is.
Okay. Sorry, just the wind was hurting my ears.
How to do
So I love your technique. It's similar to what I do. I've learned theta and just some of the things that I do naturally. When you're working with someone, how important is it that like what's up? Like if they, like, for example, I'm speaking for me, not just for my clients, but like there's a low grade energy in me that my energy's low, like I have bags under my eyes, my menses is horrible unless I use a lot of progesterone. And I've worked with a lot of healers, and it's come up like maybe I have Lyme's, or maybe I have that. So if you don't know exactly what to do, like I like your art as healing, like when you drew the Lyme and you like went into it and you had that connection to it. But if you don't know what's like the cause, how do you go about working with someone?
Well, it depends on what it is, but if we were talking about you, I would do Immunics first, because Immunics is going to get rid of the external stuff that's just hanging around, which is going to confuse the issue if we don't. That's what I found. So we have to clear the 12 bodies first, remove the blocks to healing, get you in your body, and then sometimes I work with people over Skype, where you'll make a drawing and I make a constellation out of the drawing, and it just goes right to the heart of the matter. It's amazingly fast. Yeah,
Okay.
and these are little kid drawings. This is nothing. We're not doing fine art here,
Okay, that's good.
Stick figures. I'm not an artist. I'm not a visual artist. So stick figures work. But I also have a deceased Dakota holy man, medicine man, shaman, whatever, who works through me.
Mm-hmm.
And he's really much better reader than I am. And he comes in. He didn't show up today, though. It's interesting. He just comes in whenever he feels the need, I guess, when he can be of use. And he helps a lot. He helps guide the session lots of times. And I can look at you, like adrenals were the first thing that popped up in my head.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and that may not be all of it. So next thing I hear is constellation, something with the heart in a constellation. So something with mom, maybe mom's family. Yeah, constellations are so profound because they tear it apart. They just rip the whole thing apart, and you can see exactly where the stuff is coming from. It's really amazing work to me. I'm always amazed at what comes up in a constellation. Yeah.
Yes, it's fascinating. Thank you so much for sharing this. And I look forward to connecting with you further.
Great, thanks. So your name is, how do you say your name again?
First name Carla, last name Sean, and it means horseradish, and it's Polish.
Thanks. Okay.
Yeah.
Somebody else has a question up there. Thank you. Renata? Tyson, she has to unmute herself?
No, I have to find her wherever she is. There she is. You just sec here.
Okay. And then we'll wrap it up if there's no more questions.
Okay, you're
when
on.
I came with these issues, one of this, I start having this like, and when we were talking, it once a while, I was not crying, nothing. It just came. What do you know? What is this?
Do you always have it?
No, it just I was crying a lot when I was young, but I started having these problems when since 2012.
Do you, you have a ghost with you, so that
Yeah.
it could be
Yes,
that.
I have entities.
You have what?
Entities, some kind of entities.
Well, the first thing I got was a ghost that you've been carrying, I think, from a deceased relative. Somebody in your family died when you were young. Is that right?
Yes.
Yeah. So that, I think that's, yeah, that you're carrying. Who was it?
My father's brother. He got killed in a motorcycle accident.
Okay. So we're just going to ask your father's brother to go back to the light. So grandfather just came in. He said he's been hanging on for dear life to you, because when he died, he didn't really understand that he was dead, and he hung on to the easiest thing he could. And it was easier to hang on to a child than an adult, because you wouldn't understand and you were more innocent. Yeah, goodness. So he said, we're going to remove him now. So I just saw a brave, an Indian, come in, and he's just like a, if you're wearing a cloth, he's just picking him off the right side of your body. Ooh, and he's giving them back to your relatives. Yeah. Oh. You feel a little lighter?
Yes, I do, but
Yeah.
I was so many times looking at this photo when I had, and he just got killed when I was born.
That's interesting. So yeah, that it makes sense. You know, when someone dies tragically, they don't get that they're dead. So they look for some, you know, they're like all over the place. So they look for someone to attach to, because they're just looking for life. So one more question, and then I
I
think.
have a question. Did I hear it come through? Delane?
Hi.
Hi.
I do have a question. It just came to me. I was checking. My husband is only 5% in his body. 5%. No wonder he doesn't take any healing. Only takes 50% healing from me. Do you have any ideas?
Wow. He look. I see like 3 of him. He's like here and here and here. So although for some reason he's splitting. What was his father like?
Well, my husband was in a traumatic. He was in an accident 30 years ago. Had actually they didn't think he would live, and then he came out of the coma 3 days later. The day that he came out of the coma was the day that our foster daughter was born in Warsaw, Poland, and then I met him 8 years later. So we're definitely soulmates. We're definitely, supposed to be together. And I do a lot of healing, and everybody else takes it, but he doesn't take too much.
He's not all there.
Absolutely, yes. So, any ideas of how to integrate him?
Well, you have to be able to see it. I mean, it would probably take more than 5 minutes. We can do a session. I could pull them back together in a session.
Okay, maybe he would work with you because he won't work with me. Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. Bye.
So, Rhea, can we do one more? Edna's got her hand up here.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sure. One more. Go ahead, Edna.
Okay, Edna, you're on.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you very much. We experience what it is to be completely present. But would you explain what it is to be present, what it is to be in our bodies? Is that our spirit is not there? Where is our spirit? And what exactly, I don't want to say exactly, but is just a matter of awareness or what it is to be present, what it is to be in our bodies?
I think it's our conscious awareness, or our consciousness leaves our body. And I didn't really understand this until I studied expressive arts, movement and drawing mostly. And I did a year-long intensive training program where every single day we moved and we drew. We'd draw our body, we'd move it. We'd draw the body, we did it every day for a year, all day long. And at the end of the year, I was like, "Urgh!" And before that year, I wanted to leave the planet. I always wanted to leave because I was probably never in my body, and I didn't have any power. I couldn't, when I spoke, things were angry because I couldn't just flow, things just didn't come out. So the consciousness, due to trauma, all kinds of stuff, leaves the body constantly. And most of us are not 100% in our body. So all you're doing is bringing your consciousness, which is probably just a field right? A field of us back in. I can't really explain it more than that. I don't know how to, because there's nothing you see. It's just a sense of, God, I'm whole. We have to be inside the body. The awareness of us should be in our body. And
So it's a matter of awareness. So is our spirit, because I heard this different theories, that the body is not in, the spirit is not in the body, but it's outside the body. Would you say something about it?
Well, the body doesn't carry light. And the body doesn't carry light because my spiritual teacher says it's like the garbage dump. The body's like the garbage dump. It's the place where we store emotions and thoughts. But I think, from my understanding, when we left God, however many millions of years ago that was, right, for whatever reasons, and there's different theories on that, but I think in essence, here we're in God consciousness, and we said, well, we want to try that over there. And God said, well, you have free will. You can do whatever you want, but you're not going to like it over there. I can tell you that, because you're not in love anymore. And we said, well, we want to try it anyway. And we went like this and stepped over here and immediately got afraid and created a fear-based reality. So that's what the body just holds, that fear. Right? So we have to bring God back into the body, and that's part of our evolution now, is God wants to, from what I understand, reclaim the body. And you do it by bringing it into your spine. I'm going to talk to Tyson about having another class on that.
Okay. Yeah. So the spirit should be then inside the body, because the soul and the spirit are two different things, in my understanding.
Yeah.
So the spirit would refer to the part of God that should be inside.
It's the life force energy, I think. That's what it is. That's why people like Reiki so much, I think, or all the pranic healing stuff, is because you're getting life force energy. That's the channel that you're putting back in the body. The body, if God was completely in the body, the life force energy is God, right? If that was completely in the body, you would heal, because God would heal everything that wasn't itself.
So that refers to the spirit or to the soul?
That's the spirit.
So it should be inside, outside.
We want to bring it back, and you'll feel better. Like, just for a couple seconds, just let yourself get quiet. And here's a really good starter for this. And just breathe in God. Just say that, I'm breathing in God, and you breathe it into your body. I'm breathing in now. I'm breathing in love. I'm breathing in the moment. And just notice how that little bit feels, right? Well, we are missing that. That's how we become the vessel of God.
Right. Yes. Well, maybe in another class, would you may like to clarify a little bit further about the soul and the body, and the body we understand, and God, but I guess it's the spirit, like.
Don't make it so heady. Okay. We gotta get over that. Really, all you have to do is bring it back in. There are 7 gates behind our physical body that we come out of. They hook up with the chakra system. So the chakra system needs to be pretty clear, or at least how to consistently clear that, because it's a constant thing, right? Once the chakras are moving, just at least moving in and out information, God comes into the chakra system. So the gates are in God, the fullness of God, and we come out of those gates, sink into the chakras, and come back into the body that way. That's a beautiful course. We did that for a year. It was amazing. And we don't know anything like that on earth. So we go to our head to try to figure stuff out, when all we need to do is bring God back, because God is all information. All information, right? Vast intelligence. We focus on us. No, get rid of this. The head is just the ego. which we need an ego, but the ego is also the part of us that is full of fear. It's based on survival. It's based on that step we took that said, oh my God, now I'm afraid. So the ego wants you to survive. It doesn't want to give up what it's got because it thinks it's going to die. Not realizing that if it let God take over, it would really live.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a total shift in perspective.
Okay. All right.
I do see
Thank
this
you.
as another course. I'm
Thank you.
very excited with the whole idea of full body enlightenment right here, right now, so that we can fully show up on planet Earth. And I think via you provide that opportunity when we bring our bodies of information together. It will be very exciting. So stay tuned for another class.
Yeah.
Yes.
So just let me tell you again, my email address is riaswift@gmail. Yes, Carly, you had that right one. At riaswift@gmail.com. My website is riaswift.biz, B-I-Z, and my phone number is 484-767-4890. Send me your emails. I will send you the sheets so you can start and let you know about the class. Thank you, everybody. It was a pleasure.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Have a good night, all.
You too. Thank you very much.
Bye-bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.